Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class session. So far, we discussed about enterprise structure as well as PIM, product information management, and we discussed inventory management. So from today onwards, we'll discuss manufacturing. So what are the modules? So today, initially, we'll discuss about the plan and the schedule of the manufacturing training. So first thing, in the manufacturing, what are the modules we are going to cover? In the manufacturing, what are the modules we are going to cover? So we are going to cover item structure concept. Item structure nothing but bill of material in e-business suite terminology. In e-business suite we will say BOM. So as well as we are going to discuss about work definition. So work definition nothing but in e-business suite terminology we will say routing. The routing process we have to cover, as well as we need to discuss about work execution. Work execution nothing but work in process in e-business suite terminology, as well as ideally quality is a separate module, but in a real production environment, in terms of application, quality is a separate module which we are going to use that quality module for manufacturing as well as inventory purposes also. But in a real production environment, so if you have a manufacturing plant, you have to implement quality, because so upon completing the finished good item, usually everyone will perform quality checks. So that is the reason even that is a separate module. So when it comes to the manufacturing process, we cannot see as a separate. So it's a part of manufacturing only, even there is a separate module. So we are going to discuss about quality management as quality module. Then what else is mandatory? What else is mandatory for a manufacturing process? What else is mandatory for manufacturing?
Configurator.
Cost accounting. So whatever you are going to manufacture the item, we need to cost that item. What is the production cost? What is the resource cost? What is the components cost? We need to cost the material. So we need to calculate the cost incurred to manufacturing that item. So that is the reason costing also is a mandatory for manufacturing. That means, so we can say cost management. We can say cost management. Under cost management, we have two different modules. So under cost management, we have two different modules. What are they? So one is cost accounting, another one is receipt accounting. So usually cost accounting we will perform for the transactions which occurs in inventory, as well as for the transactions which we are going to perform at production level. Receipt accounting nothing but for the receiving transactions we are going to process with the help of receipt accounting, with the help of receipt accounting. So these are the modules which we need to cover as part of manufacturing training. In these modules, how we are going to explain the manufacturing is initial 1 week, we are going to discuss a basic enterprise structure, work definition follows to basic working process. That means one basic work order. So first we'll complete all the basic scenarios, so everyone will get a understand on the cycle or a flow, manufacturing flow. So once everyone is able to understand the manufacturing flow, we'll come back to the item structure and we'll discuss all the fields in the item structure. Then we'll go to the work definition. We'll test all the possible columns in the work definition. Then we'll go back to work execution. Then we will test all type of work orders and how to report the transactions and everything manually. We'll test all the scenarios. So this is how we are going to discuss manufacturing, follows to quality, follows to costing. So today we'll start with manufacturing. Today we'll start with manufacturing. So let me save this notepad. Okay. So log into the application with our user. So currently I have a lot of inventories. Out of those, I am going to implement manufacturing in my Hyderabad inventory organization. So if I want to implement Hyderabad inventory organization, a manufacturing plant, where I have to start? What is the first step I have to take?
In organization parameters.
In organization parameters, there is a checkbox. So organization is a manufacturing plant. If you enable that checkbox, then only that organization will act as a discrete manufacturing plant. Then only that particular organization will act as a discrete manufacturing plant. So earlier in e-business suite, by default, the inventory will act as a discrete manufacturing plant. Directly we can define BOM parameters and WIP parameters. But in e-business suite, if you want to implement process manufacturing, then there is a checkbox OPM enabled. Oracle, process manufacturing enabled. So once you enable the checkbox, then only you can maintain process manufacturing. But by default, the inventory will act as a discrete manufacturing plant, and just you need to configure BOM and WIP parameters in e-business suite. But in cloud application, do you have process manufacturing so far?
No,
No.
sir.
Do you have process manufacturing? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No,
We
no.
don't have process manufacturing. Then we have only discrete manufacturing. In the discrete manufacturing, so again, if you want to implement the discrete manufacturing in your organization, you need to enable a organization parameter as a organization is manufacturing plant. Where is that? Go to setup and maintenance. So navigate to procurement offering. Select organization structures. Select manage inventory organizations. Seems like someone updated the color. Okay, SCP underscore. That's okay. Select search Hyderabad inventory. Select manage organization parameters. So navigate. So here there is a checkbox. Organization is a manufacturing plant. So if you don't enable, then we cannot implement manufacturing in this particular Hyderabad inventory as you already enabled. So now we can perform. So, but if you don't see, if you define any plant parameter kind of setup, and if you don't see anything like your inventory organization, then you have to verify this particular setup. Then we enabled as organization is a manufacturing plant. That's fine. Select done. Okay, and one more thing, guys. So not only these things, so in work definition and work execution, there is a concept of material availability. So usually where we can perform the material in e-business suite, in which module we can find the material availability for individual work orders, as well as show component shortage calculations and everything.
Material workbench.
Material workbench, as well as component shortage calculations.
It is on ATP we used to
No.
check.
Component
shortage.
calculation in MES we will do, manufacturing execution system. In e-business, what happened is, so we have one standard WIP module where we are going to transact, move transactions and everything, and we can complete a job, as well as MES manufacturing execution system where we can perform all the transactions in detail, as well as some advanced features is there. But in cloud application, we don't have any MES, but because the main reason why we have MES is to perform to process this, to do manufacturing process easily. So with some better options, like how to record the reporting the transactions, as well as component shortage calculation means, so if you submit that one, whatever work orders we need to perform, for those work orders, what are the components required, whether those components are available or not, all those things we can see in those reports. So all these things we can find in MES, but now we don't have any separate MES. All those things are part of work execution only. Now we don't have individual modules. And material availability rules, assignments, shortage calculations, everything comes under work execution only. Okay, so that means that is also we need to discuss. Okay, so first thing, we enabled as a organization as a manufacturing plant, so that is fine. In e-business suite, after the setup, what is the next setup you are going to perform?
WIP accounting class we have to create.
Before that, first, which module you are going to start implementing?
BOM parameters.
BOM parameters. So first you are going to define a BOM parameters, follows to WIP parameters in work in process module. So if you want to define WIP parameters, we need a WIP accounting class. So and WIP accounting class, either you can define, you can assign later, or else upfront we can define a WIP accounting classes. In the WIP accounting classes, usually we will define one per standard, and that particular WIP accounting class we will assign a default accounting class for the standard work orders, where we are going to choose the valuation accounts and all these things. Then we are going to define remaining setups. But in cloud application, do you have any separate bill of material module?
No, nothing is there.
So item structure is concept of bill of material, and that item structure is part of product information management only. So first thing, we don't have bill of material. Then second thing, rather than WIP parameters, just the pronunciation wise or setup wise, they change the name as a plant parameters. So the first setup we need to configure is the plant parameters. Navigate to manufacturing and supply chain material management offering. Select manufacturing master data functional areas. Select manage plant parameters. So currently it is in 002 organization, which is a default organization for any user. So I'm going to discuss those things also, but where you can see is, so select show all task. So here is plant profiles. Okay, here we have plant profiles. So RCS default manufacturing org. So at site level, so it is a 002. Did you see, guys? This profile value site level is 002. That is the reason any user open that setup, by default it will log in with, the setup will open with 002 organization. Okay, so anyhow, profile values will discuss. Go to manage plant parameters. So select change organization, SCP underscore Hyderabad inventory organization. Select OK. So manufacturing calendar. Select manufacturing calendar. Select search. So manufacturing calendar, we can maintain a separate calendar, or else so same calendar which we are using for inventory, we can use the same calendar. Based on the manufacturing calendar only, we will decide the shift timings and everything. For the production resources, we will decide the shift timings and everything. Select manufacturing calendar as a SCP underscore facility schedule. Okay, so what is the manufacturing process? What is the manufacturing process? Tell me, guys, your idea.
Set of operation to define from
No,
to
no,
make
no.
a
I'm asking manufacturing process, will not setups. So a manufacturing process and anything, but so usually why we will go with manufacturing process to complete a finished good item. Then only we will see on hand quantity in our inventory organization. If the item is a make item, then we are going to perform a manufacturing process to finish the item, so we can find the on hand quantity. If that is a buy item, we will purchase from supplier. In that scenario, how the manufacturing process starts? So usually we will generate a work order. So how much quantity we need material, how much quantity we need. So for that specific quantity, we will generate a work order. Work order nothing but we need to work. I mean, some process that order. So we will generate a work order for the specific item for specific quantity. Then once you generate a work order, for example, first we are going to generate a work order. So once you generate the work order, so what we will do, so we have to, once we generate the work order, so we need to process the manufacturing, we need to perform the manufacturing process. Means, so I want to manufacture one laptop, then components are required, so like RAM, hard disk, or else what else we have, so I mean software, all these things are required. So processor and everything, those are the components which we will define as the components, and we are going to assemble those components. That means we need to pick those components. So where to, we are going to store all those components, we are going to store in our sub inventories. From the sub inventories, we are going to pick those components to the shop floor. Shop floor nothing but manufacturing process, a manufacturing area. So within inventory, one area we will define as a shop floor where we will perform manufacturing activities. Then, so from sub inventory, we will pick the components required to manufacture the Dell laptop. For example, Dell laptop is a finished good item. Then those components we will assemble. Again, who will assemble? A resources. A person will assemble, or a machine will assemble. Person or machine is a resource. So then we will assemble that components to manufacture the laptop. Then we will test that laptop. Then we will complete the job, and we will store the finished good item into the some sub inventory. This is a standard manufacturing process, correct? This is standard manufacturing process.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Any questions on this basic manufacturing process?
No, generally we take it based on the sales order, the demand from the
No, no,
sales
no.
order.
I mean, that's what. Don't go all in one day.
Okay.
Basic scenario clear.
Yes.
I mean, what will happen, sir? Because I mean, few people worked in manufacturing, few people didn't work in manufacturing. So when I'm giving training, I have to consider all, and I have to start from the basics so people will understand clearly. Okay, the sales order nothing but ATO, that is different, or else rework orders is there, or non-standard orders is there. So I mean, those things we'll discuss slowly. Okay, I think okay. Then in this manufacturing process, we said that we will create a work order. Then whatever components are required, we need to pick from the sub-units. Usually we are not going to store all those things in the shop floor, right? So usually, so where we are going to maintain item on hand quantities, all those components in the sub-inventories only, some stores sub-inventories, correct? Where we will store the goods in our inventory organization.
Sub inventories.
In the sub inventory.
In this scenario, so first point, material default supply sub inventory. What is the default supply sub inventory? Whenever we need a components, by default from which sub inventory we are going to pick for this particular Hyderabad inventory organization. So again we can change the default supply sub inventory, but so whenever I mean supply sub inventory is populated, again we can modify at work order level, or else if the material is not available here based on the pick slip picking rules, system will go with other sub inventory and it will pick from other sub inventory for which movement request. But what should be the default sub inventory, default supply sub inventory for this inventory organization? We need to choose as a material details. So default supply sub inventory is stores. Then if this sub inventory is a locator control sub inventory, then we can enable the locator control sub inventory, as well as a default pick slip grouping rule. We'll discuss pick slip grouping rule also. Based on the pick slip grouping rule, we are going to group the requirement for work orders, and we are going to pick in one go. So we will group the pick slip, we will define pick slip grouping rules also. First, we'll choose the default supply sub inventory. Then default supply locator. For example, if this sub inventory is a locator control sub inventory, then what is the default locator system has to go with? So we have to choose the default supply locator, but this organization is not a locator control organization, so locator is not mandatory. Then default completion sub inventory. We said that, so we created a work order, we completed the manufacturing process. So once you completed manufacturing process in the standard basic scenario, we are going to store that material in some sub inventory, correct? We need to store that on hand quantity, right, in our organization, the basic scenario.
Yes, sir.
So then that sub inventory, in which sub inventory you are going to store, again at the time of completing work order we are going to have option, but by default in which sub inventory you are going to store the finished good items. By default in which sub inventory, so you are going to store the finished good items is a completion sub inventory, is a completion sub inventory. So what is your default completion sub inventory for Hyderabad inventory organization? Select default completions of inventory. Select FG. Select FG. 1 second, guys. Guys, just give me a couple of minutes. Okay, give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going on mute. Just give me a couple of minutes. Okay, so then what is the default completion sub-inventory? That means whenever you are completing a work order, by default in which sub-inventory you want to place, system will populate. So if you choose it default completion sub-inventory, and I'm choosing as a default completion sub-inventory as FG sub-inventory. Then expand work definition. So work definition, work execution, outside processing. All these details related to the plant we are going to decide at this moment only. So what I will do, so again I will come back and I will come back, and so I will discuss about work definition maybe day after tomorrow. So after that, again, I will come back and I will discuss about work execution parameters. Similarly, at the time of OSP, I will discuss about OSP parameters. At this moment, we'll stick till here only. Okay. So at this moment, we'll stick till here only. So again, we will come back and we will discuss the one by one scenarios. So select save, select save, select save and close. So we need to define a plant parameters. We defined a plant parameters. By default, some
Sir,
values will, yeah.
how did you change the organization name for the manage plant parameters?
Okay. So
By
go to
default,
manage plant parameters. Okay. So yes, site level 002. After that, you can see change organization button. Click on that change organization and choose your organization. Or else,
okay.
if you go to plant profiles, so we can give the, for your username, you can give the default organization. So by default, the evidence that organization will open. Okay. Okay. Then we defined a basic plant parameters. As I said, initially we'll discuss very basic to understand a flow, and we'll come back and we'll discuss in detail. That's what we said, right? So then, if you want to manufacture an item, first you need to define a BOM, bill of material. What is a bill of material? Bill of material nothing but the list of where we are going to maintain list of components to manufacture a item. Bill of material nothing but where we are going to maintain list of components plus how much quantity for each component required to manufacture the item. All these details we will mention in under bill of material. All these details we will mention under bill of material. For example, I am going to manufacture a laptop. So I am going to manufacture a laptop. So if you want to manufacture a laptop, what are the components are required to manufacture this laptop? Tell me. So what are the components required to manufacture a laptop? Any laptop.
Motherboard.
RAM,
Okay, RAM, motherboard. Sorry,
motherboard, monitor,
processor.
Hard disk.
So hard disk, and what else?
Monitor.
Display, screen display,
this
and so there is a keyboard required. So USB boards, or else what we will say, some USB ports. USB ports. So
mouse,
CD reader, right?
LAN cards.
LAN cards.
like,
And internal, you can see lot of chips and other stuff. So including small bolts, all those things are part of the laptops. For example, even bolts required and lot of internal processor chip units required. Also, there is a lot of components so required to manufacture a laptop. That means this Dell laptop is a finished good item or else final assembly to manufacture this Dell laptop. All these components are required. So how system will know that what are the components are required? So to understand that one, we have a concept of bill of material. So in the bill of material, we are going to mention list of the components required to manufacture the finished good item. We are going to mention list of the components. Again, not only list of the components, as well as how much quantity of each component required. For example, one RAM is required, one motherboard is required, one processor is required, one hard disk is required. So some 4 USB ports are required, 2 LAN cards are required. So some 20 volts are required. As that means how much so what are the components required to manufacture the item, plus how much quantities of each component required to manufacture the finished good item. All these details we will mention under bill of material. Bill of material where we are going to maintain list of the components plus their quantities required to manufacture a finished good item. Clear the definition? Is the
clear, sir.
definition clear, guys? Everyone?
Yes, sure.
Anyone have any question?
No, sure.
Okay. Guys, one thing. So not everyone will work in each and every module. So don't feel like this is a simple questions. Whatever doubts you have, please ask me, because not everyone will work in each and every module in a organization. So that is the reason. Any questions you have, please ask me.
Sharath, I have a question here. Maybe this something related to this or not. I don't know because I'm asking you. The thing is, I've come across two things. One is bill sequence ID and another one is common bill sequence ID. Can you relate these two terms here?
Yeah, build sequence ID. Okay, bomb sequence nothing, but okay, I got it. So in the bomb, we are going to mention the items in a sequence, like so first item sequence is the RAM, second item sequence is the some hard disk, like that. Then what we will do is we will map this sequence with the work definition. That means, so for example, in the 10th operation, we are going to use these components, like this bomb item sequence components we need to use in 10th operation. So in 20th operation, we need to use these components. We're going to map this item sequence, nothing but bomb sequence, with the work definition operation sequence. So that is the reason we will use that one operation, I mean item sequence or bomb sequence. But in a cloud application, so the way we are going to map, we have some different concept. Okay, I mean actually it is simplified now. Just a drag and drop concept is there in cloud application. Okay. Okay, so that means these are the components required for it. Anyhow, I'm not going to define this many components, so I'm going to define a couple of components. So I'm going to manufacture a Dell laptop or some Asus laptop. I think Dell laptop naming convention is available. So I'm going to manufacture Asus laptop. So this Asus laptop is a finished good item. To manufacture that Asus laptop, I need a RAM, hard disk, and a processor. I'm going to mention only three components because I mean anyhow 3 or 20 there is no difference. The process is the same only. So I'm going to manufacture Asus laptop with some three components. So for our testing purpose, So that means if you want to manufacture Asus laptop, these three components are required. Again, these three components. So what type of items these are? So maybe these components may buy item or else. So we can again manufacture these components also. So again, if you want to manufacture RAM, again you need a separate bill this for this RAM. Again, to manufacture RAM, what are the components required for those components? So again, how you want to maintain, again buy or make item, we need to make it. So based on that one, we are going to work out. But end of the day, if you want to manufacture a Asus laptop, we need one RAM quantity. How we are going to get is the second matter. Either again you are going to manufacture RAM or are you going to buy this RAM from outside supplier is a separate concept. Hard disk, I need one quantity, and processor, I need one quantity to manufacture one Asus laptop. So that means these three components should have a on-hand quantity in our inventory if you want to manufacture this Asus laptop. That means first we need to define three components. So before defining a Asus laptop bill of material, nothing but item structure. So let's quickly define items. Go to navigator, product management offerings, select product information management, go to task, select create item, organization SCP_IMO, item class, SCP_item class. So now these components, again it's up to our decision whether buy item or make item. But the components I'm going to define as a buy item only. So move to selected list, select okay, select yes, select item name. So SCP_RAM. So or else at this moment I will say some 4 GB RAM. So because in future for ATO scenarios, again we can use these components. So rather than creating from the beginning, so we can add one more component for the option classes. So that is the reason. Just let's make it as a 4 GB RAM. I'm not going to define 8 GB like that at this moment. So next, go to associations. Go to associations. Let's associate with Hyderabad Inventory Organization. Select search. Select Hyderabad Inventory Organization. Select apply. Select done. Select save. Select save and close. So likewise, create 2 more items. Okay, this time I'm going to create both items in one go. Okay, select SCP underscore IMO. So create number of items 2. Select item class SCP item class. These 2 components also I'm going to create as a buy items only, purchase items only. Select S. Select S. Then item name SCP underscore. So we define RAM, right? So core i5. The processor is core i5. Okay, i5. Core i5 is the processor. So description. Then another item is SCP underscore. So 1 TB hard disk. 1 TB hard disk. So SCP underscore 1 TB hard disk. So these are the items which we created. We created 2 items as a component. 2 items as a component. Hard disk. Okay. Then we need to associate these items to the organization. So before associating, so if you go to associations, navigate to associations. So once you save, then only we can associate. If you create more than 1 items in one go, then first save it. Then navigate to associations. Let's associate with Hyderabad inventory. We can create more than 1 item in one go, but associations we cannot do same time. Select save and close. So navigate to manage items. Search another item. Core i5 item. SCP underscore core i5 chemical item. So what is that one? Processor. What we mentioned? The naming convention.
Hard disk 1 TB.
Hard disk, we just assigned hard disk. Okay, space. There is a space between underscore and C. Okay, there is a space. Navigate to association. So let's associate. Again, in the bill of material, nothing but item structure, we have different concepts like common bill of material or creating at a master level, a separate organization level bill. There is different concepts there, guys. So first, let's go with it. First, we'll complete a basic scenario for everyone, so everyone can understand the flow. Then we'll come back and we'll discuss all these fields in detail. So select done. Now we created 3 components which are required to manufacturing Asus laptop. Then I will create a Asus laptop. It is a finished good item. So this Asus laptop is nothing but where we are going to manufacture in our plant. In that scenario, do we need to apply purchased item template or finished good item template?
Good item.
Finished good item template. And where it will differentiate is select OK, select S. First, let's create a item SCP underscore Asus laptop. Associate with, let's go to associations. So associate with Hyderabad inventory, select apply, select done, select save. So Asus laptop has the following errors: customer ordered enable. So okay, default template. Okay, got it. So in the default template, there is a small mistake. Is there? We have to update it. We'll update later. So sales and order management. The customer ordered enabled is no, but here we can see web store related. So it is orderable on the web is yes. Ideally, here it is no, that should be no. Anyway, that's okay. That's not important. Select save. So customer order on the may be enabled only the customer. So why still again it is showing is, so the reason is we updated this. I mean, this is I think controlled at organization level. Okay, we cancel. So select yes. Guys, whenever you are not speaking, please go on mute. So go to manage items. Go to manage items. So search your item. SEP underscore Asus laptop. The item not created. That's fine. So what we'll do is, so first we'll create a item. So select create item. SEP underscore organization IMO. So SEP underscore item class. So we'll change the template later. So finish good item, select OK, select yes. So first go to create item, SCP underscore Asus laptop.
Sarath, but if we change the template later, it will not apply, right? That changes
No,
what.
that's why what I will do is before performing org association, so I will change the item attributes, and at this moment it won't stop us. So before assigning to the organization, orderable on the web also I made it as yes, and the customer order enabled as yes. So ideally this item attribute is controlled at organization level, but if you change at master level before performing org association, automatically the changes will apply. So then now it won't see, you won't see the error. So now let's associate with Hyderabad inventory. Select done. Select save. So is it saved successfully? So later what we will do is we'll change in the template. Okay, guys.
Yeah, the item code creation, there is a gap. Is there is no problem because in the ABS now we have to be very careful.
There?
In the SEP access, there is a space left out.
No, okay. I mean, there is no restrictions in a cloud application as well as in item generation. There is no restrictions in e-business suite also. But usually people won't maintain gaps and they will fill with underscore or something. So because most of the times in e-business suite, item number is going to be item name is going to be a number only, but not any character alpha characters.
Yeah.
But in e-business suite also there is no restriction. You can mention gap in between items.
Okay.
Okay, now we created a item, then how this item will become a manufacturing item, finished good item. So go to manufacturing specifications. So here you can see item structure. What is the structure item type? What is this value, guys?
Standard.
Standard. So that means it is a BOM type. So what are the BOM types we have in e-business suite? We have standard bill, model bill, option class bill, as well as supplier bill is there. Correct? And ECO, engineering bill is a separate concept. Similarly,
Yes.
same here, standard bill, a model bill, option class bill, planning bill, and product family bill is there. Then out of these things, so I mean, initially we were discussing only standard bill. So that is the reason. A standard bill of material where we are going to mention list of the components required to manufacture the item. Then what is model and option class bills? Model bill nothing but, so if you want to give your customer a option to configure, then we will go with model bill. There the customer can configure the model item. Again, that model bill is going to have option classes. That is the reason we are going to create another bill for option classes. Again, that option class has another bill with options. So nothing but a final components. So for that purpose, we have a model and option classes, as well as a planning bill, which we are going to use for the planning module. Based on that one, we will generate the work orders and a product family. I will verify this product family. So I'm not very sure how exactly it works. So then we have, these are the BOM types, nothing but structure item types. I'm going to create a standard item structure, standard bill of material. Then here you can see WIP parameters, built-in WIP. That means we can build this item in the work in process module. That means we can manufacture this item. Build in phase S, as well as material supply types. There is a concept of supply type, assemblable, operation, pull. So push, bulk, some supply types is there. So supplier types and all these things, as I said, first let's complete a scenario. Okay, I'm going to define a standard bill of the material, standard item structure. Then open this item in the Hyderabad inventory organization. So search your item, Asus laptop in Hyderabad inventory organization. Select item in Hyderabad inventory organization. Go to item structures, go to structures tab. So earlier we discussed about overview, specifications, attachments, associations, and categories. Now let's discuss about structures. Go to structure, scroll down. Here, if you click on plus icon, then it will create a standard item structure. Also, you can copy from existing. You can create a common thing, common bill of material. First, I am going to create a item structure. Just click on plus icon to create a item structure. Nothing but to create a bill of material for Asus laptop. What is this item structure? Primary or production? All these things you can see. This is a functionality which will comes from the different lookup. So from there, say we can integrate with the application. So first, let's go to primary item structure. Select OK, or else click on apply and add details. So if you click on apply and add details, so here we are going to mention what are the components required to manufacture the Asus laptop. All those components we will list here in the item structure. So click on apply and add details. So here we created a item structure, a primary item structure for Asus laptop. So where if you click on this plus icon, select and add, we are going to maintain list of the components required to manufacture this Asus laptop. So what are the components required? SEP_space core. So core i5 is the processor which is required to manufacture this laptop. Search the specific component. You can click on apply, or else you can click on edit and add. If you click on edit and add, then system will open a pop-up where how much quantity of core i5 processor required to manufacture this one quantity of laptop. So then this is the item sequence 30. Item sequence, from where it will come from plant parameter. No, item sequence is a default concept from which will come from different lookup. So not lookup, I think it's administrator profile. So how much quantity? One quantity is required. One core i5 processor is required to manufacture Asus laptop. That's it. So again, we are going to come back, guys. We are keep on coming back to discuss all the fields. So at this moment, just add. So select add one more component. Select search. So select SEP_. So 1 TB hard disk. So if you directly select component and if you click apply, by default the component will add, and it will add as a how much quantity required. It will add one quantity. So that is a default functionality. Select apply, select OK. See now, so hard disk, how much quantity of hard disk is required? How much quantity? One quantity. For example, if you want to make it as a 2, then what you need to do, upon adding the components also, you can see pencil icon to edit. Click on edit. Click on it. Again, you can change any details. At this moment, let's keep as same only. Again, basis type, variable or fixed. All these things we'll discuss, guys. Okay. Select OK. Select OK. Then select place cursor on the finished good item. Asus laptop is the finished good item. Click on select and add to add components. So I have one more component required to manufacture this item. So that is a RAM. So SEP_RAM. What is that component? 4 GB RAM. SEP_4 GB RAM. Okay, 4 GB. There is a space. Select apply. Select OK. So we added 3 components to manufacture Asus laptop. Nothing but a item structure. Nothing but bill of material. So that means what is bill of material meaning? Bill of material or item structure. What it means?
List of components to form a
Where we are going to
finished
maintain
product.
list of components required to manufacture a finished good item and
And the relevant quantities.
how much quantity required for each component. So all these details we will mention under bill of material, nothing but item structure. So in item structure, where we are going to maintain list of components required to manufacture a finished good item, and we defined 3 components. We defined one finished good item, and we associated 3 components. Select done. Select save. So anyone have any questions on this basic item structure scenario? So we didn't discuss any fields, right? Okay, we didn't discuss any fields. So we are going to discuss all those fields from Friday onwards. So till Friday, we are going to perform very basic flow only. Any questions?
Sir,
Yeah.
In the structures, you are defining a list of components for a make item, right?
List of components required to manufacture a finished good item. Nothing requires for a make item.
During item import, we need to do this side, this structure.
Yes, in the item import template, if the item is a make item, in the standard template itself, you can see the, item structure sheet also. I think I have item import. Do you have any item import? Okay.
So in EBS, it is not like that, right?
Now in e-business suite, so we need to load the BOM data separately from the BOM tables. Okay, so I will show you. Oracle Cloud item, Oracle Cloud SCM, BDA. So file basic data import for supply chain management cloud. So where is item? Item. Where is item? Okay, here item structure. See here item structure import template. So in the import template, we are going to load this item structure for the item. Okay. This is the part of standard supply chain management import only. So here you can see interface structures, components, what are the components required. So all those things we are going to import for the item from the at the time of item of import only, but as a separate template. Okay.
And in item structure, can you define the list of types, the standard, where we will use the planning?
No, that's what, guys. So we'll go one by one.
Okay.
Okay. So our agenda is first 4 days to understand the basic manufacturing flow in the application.
Okay.
Okay. Once everyone is familiar with that basic flow, we will come back and we will discuss each and every field and we will test each and every field.
Okay.
So how we discussed inventory, or did we miss any concept in any specific topic? Inventory. So we discussed controls or countings. Did we miss anything?
No.
Whatever possible, we discuss. Likewise, here also we are going to discuss, because our target is so till 23. Till 30th, we are going to discuss manufacturing. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, I will
Hello. I'm sorry.
yeah. Yes.
Voice is breaking. Some background noise is coming. That's it.
Yeah. So okay, guys. So I'm going to close this session. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll discuss about work definition setups. So on day after tomorrow we'll complete on basic work order. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
Sarath, could you please share during offsite the password?
Yeah,
Oh.
how to get it, buddy? Once I get it, I'm going to.
No. Just we will forget the setup. Just the
No, it's not about the setup. I have to receive from our vendor.
No. ADC 3 and